Okay, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? This is Sean Miller, Hipster Viz Ninja, coming at you with another Workout Wednesday live. Excited to be here. Got my Starbucks ready to go. It's going to be a good day. So, looks like my camera is a little bit out of focus, but we'll work on that. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's just jump in to what we're looking at. Okay, so what are we doing? We've got a good challenge here. We're going to be doing some, looks like we're going to be building a table with some parameters to do some switching and be able to, select some months off of that. So, let's go ahead and just dive right in. What do you say? All right. So, we're just going to be connecting to the Superstore. As you can see here, we'll just connect to the Superstore data set. Here we go. All right, so as you may have seen earlier this week, I started a new job. So very excited about that. I'm now I've jumped into the world of consulting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So excited to do that. So all right, so what are we doing here? We need to be able to select the latest month they want to see from the drop down. Make sure the months in the drop down are sorted with the most recent on top. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump into let's take a look at this workbook here. All right, we know we're going to have subcategories, so let's go ahead and take subcategory out here. Drag that out here. We've got it's showing 3 months, so we select any of the months, and when we do that, we can see that the month that we select goes here, then the 2 previous months right there, and then we get to see the latest month gross. So the latest month growth, so that's the growth from this to this. All right, and then we're going to color that based on what that is. It looks like we've also got a grand total in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our parameters here. So let's create a calculated field. This is going to be month date, which is just the date trunk of month and of order date. Just like that. And change that to an actual date, not a date time. Go in here. We will create a parameter off of this. And so this is what she meant, right? She said that we need to have our values so the list of values needs to be in descending order, not ascending order. That's interesting. And the default here is, so let's cancel this. Maybe if we start a parameter from scratch as a date, when the workbook opens, that's fine. When we have a list, add values from month date. Nope, it still adds it negative. How do we do that? That's a good thing to think about here. Let's see let's go back and look at this to see if there's any clues that'll give it away. As of That's really interesting. I was thinking, like, could we edit this and do... Yeah, we can't do a negative date. That doesn't register. I mean, I guess we could. We could hard code everything, but that seems a little crazy, right? Like, we wouldn't want to hard code everything. All right, so for now, let's go ahead and build the rest of this out. So we're gonna go create from month date, create parameter, change our display format to a custom format, which is MMMM YY. Right there. So the full month name and the 4-digit year. That's what that is. Okay. Our default format. See, there's no way that I can't switch the... Okay. All right, so that's interesting. We'll have to figure that out later. Well, let's get everything else working, and then we'll come back to it. That's the way that I like to. That's the way that I like to roll. Is let's not let perfect get in the way of good enough, right? So let's get everything else done, and then we'll come back to the things that are different. Okay. All right. So now let's do. We know we're going to be doing. Oh, we have a metric selector here. Average days to ship. That's an interesting metric. Okay, so let's create that. That's average days to ship. And do you think that's based on order ID? Or is that based on product? It's probably based on order. I'm just going to do it based on order ID, right? So let's do fixed on order ID. For each order ID, do a date diff of day the start date is the order date and the end date is the ship date. Right? Date diff day. What don't we like about this? Okay. So for each order ID, how do we want to aggregate it? We want to aggregate it by the sum. And then the overall will be average. All right. And I think what we can do is we can create like a date filter type of thing, right? So let's do month date parameter, edit. We'll have the first month be the latest month in our data, which is December 22. Like that. Let's click OK. And then let's do a date filter. Well, hold on. Let's not do that yet. Let's not do that quite yet. Let's put month date out here. Let's do exact date. Let's do discrete. And then we'll do the average days to ship. And let's take a look at what she's got when we do our... So 4 days, right? Okay. September. It looks like we have different data, right? So that's okay. Okay. So maybe instead of just doing a date diff, maybe we just did it, she just did it for every row. So for every record, right? So let's comment this out and let's see if we can get, but I think the fixed on order date might be, well, I guess it's a question of, there's really, thinking about this, both could be valid, right? For each order, what is the order date, right? But an order can have multiple products in it, and sometimes products might not ship at the same time, maybe? I don't know. But let's just do a date diff of day for order date and ship date. And then we'll average that overall. Let's look at what that looks like. Oh yeah, see? So that's how she did it. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got that. So now let's do our, okay, so first what I want to do is, how do I want to do the dates? Let's take this one step at take it one step at a time. Let's do month date is less than or equal to date add month -3 from the selected month date parameter, and month date is greater than, no, that's this way, greater than, this one is less than, equal to month date parameter. Click apply, and now let's see if that works. True. And we probably want that to be in context, just for, since we are dealing with level of detail calculations, or we were, who knows if we are anymore. Then we'll be able to see that, right? So now we've got, oh, and we don't want equal to, we just want the less than. So we'll do date filter and do 2, right? Because the equal to will be 1, and then we want 2 previous months. So December, November, October. Click OK. And let's show our parameter control here. Let's move it over here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Now, whenever I select July of 2020, I should see July of 2020 right here, and then 2 months previous than that. That works like that. Let's change the date format real quick. While we're here, date format is going to be the custom 1, 2, 3, 4, Y. And now we've got that. That looks like what we've got over here. Yep, that looks good. What did she do? So how did she handle nulls? Yep, she just left it null. All right, very good. Okay, let's see. Things are going pretty well so far. Let's do our date diff, or let's do our measure selector here. So the first thing we need to do is create a new parameter. We'll call this, what does she got? She calls it metric. And we'll call it range. My camera is right in front of my parameter control, so I'm gonna change this over here. 1, 2, whoop. So here's a little trick if you're new to Tableau and don't 3, and we'll call this not that. We'll call this sales. We'll call this profit. We'll call this average. So this is a trick that I learned way back in my initial training. You can have the parameter values, the underlying parameter values, be integers. The display as will be text values. And then the way that that's easier is whenever you're actually setting up your calculated fields, or you need to add additional things to the parameter. It's a lot easier than having to go in and trying to do it all as text values, because then in your calculated fields you have to actually write out all those things, and some of these display values can be pretty long. And if you misspelled things or anything like that, it can be kind of interesting. So just when you're doing a measure selector like this, just do your things as values, and then in your calculated field, whenever we create calculated field, we'll call this measure selection. Metric, we'll do case metric when 1, then sales, and I think this is going to be, because I aggregated it, needs to be some sales. When 2, then some profit, else average days to ship, end. There we go. Now we'll replace that here, and we'll show our parameter. Let's go ahead and rename this parameter to be as of, since that's what is on our dashboard. So as of with our metric, bring that over here. Now whenever we do profit, we'll be able to see that. Let's see what she said, what happens here. Profit, negative, okay, good. And average days to ship. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to format one of the things. So we've got decimals here, and we've got integers here. All right, so we've got floats and integers kind of mixed together, and we need to do that. So what she says, I believe, is show values with no decimal points in the table, but include 2 decimal points in the tooltips. Very good, we can do that. So let's have this one. Let's see, what happens though when we do we show? Okay, so we do that. Okay, so let's do measure selection. Where is it at? Measure selection, default format, number with 2 decimal points. And we'll call this rename measure selection tooltips. We'll change this to and then we'll duplicate this. Edit. Well, we didn't need to edit. We could have just we could have just renamed it. But measure tooltips table. Click OK. Now we'll edit these default property number formats to have no decimal places. We'll change our text value. We'll change our mark that's on text to tooltip. We'll take our table, drop it on text, and there you go. Right? So we have no there. let's go ahead and let's add our grand total here. So server. So the way that I like to do this, there's multiple different ways. Let's go see the different ways. The way that I do it is up in the menu bar, totals, show column grand totals, just like that. Now, the other thing you could do, the other way that you could do that, let's go back, is you can go to analytics, totals, and I like this. This can also be good. I don't know why I don't use it as much. But if you drag out totals from the analytics pane, it makes it really easy to see which totals you're going to get. You're going to get all of them. You're going to get just on columns or just on rows. I just want my columns. So there you go. All right. Now what we need to do is the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out the latest month, and I don't think we'll do, because if we do a quick table calculation and we just show the percent difference, yeah, that's not what we want. We need it to be an extra column, and we need it to be we're only using one sheet. Go ahead and clean up some stuff here while I'm thinking about how to approach this. Because what we need to do is we need to have an extra column over here, right? An extra column over here that has all those. How are we going to do that? We need an extra column that and if you see, she has how are we going to do that? As one sheet. All right, let's go see if there's anything else. Let's go check this out and see if there's anything that's okay. So we know that that's a header because we're getting, yeah. So that's a header. 8 items selected. Oh, interesting. So what's interesting here is when you select on binders, I would expect there to be 4 items selected, but it says there's 8. And I should have known. Well, now I see it. Do you see it yet? Do you see how she did this? What is that? Do you see what she's done? Interesting. Interesting. How do we do that? Okay, let's think about this. Okay, so what she's yeah, so Erica says she started it doing the same way that I did, and then we kind of ran into an issue, and now we have to rethink it. So this is interesting. So this is where kind of diving into the original can be helpful to see if there's any clues that give it away. So when I select bookcases, when I select any of the subcategories, it tells me that there are 8 items selected, and it sees the sum of average 1 is 1, which we know. But that should be a clue to you that she's using placeholder columns, right? And the way that she's doing this, so let's create a new sheet. let's make the data source filter. All right, let's not use that for now. Let's go here. Subcategory on rows. And then what she's done is she's used average, but you can do anything. You can do min 1, min 2, or min 0. And actually, what I think we're going to do here, what I like to do is do min 0.0, and that's automatically going to make it a float. And it's instead of an integer, because if you just do min 0, the data type for this for min 0 is an integer only. But if you ever need to flex your axis to kind of get things to line up right, this is where things might this is where the 0.0 and making it a float will end up, because you can edit your axis across decimal places, as opposed to only needing to use integers. So we have min 1, min 0, we have min 0, min 0, min 0.0, min 0.0, like that. So then what she's done here is these are marks. This is a separate mark card, so we're getting extra mark cards here, right? But what we're also doing, so now if I select this, I'm getting 4 items, not 8, which means each one of these is going to be a dual axis. So let's kind of think about that. So if we take, if we do, man, this is interesting. Okay, so let's do, how are we gonna do this? How do we get the headers though? Well, again, we're not gonna let perfect get in the way of good enough, right? So let's just take it one step at a time. So since we're not, so I'm thinking, let's do this first column. If month date equals date add month -2 from our parameter month, then metric, nope, and then measure selection tables. And it's going to want me to do, because it's going to give me an error because we aggregated this measure, because we had to, because we're doing sum of sales, sum of profit, and average days to ship. Yes, so she is asking -2 means to go back 2 months. Yes, so what I'm doing is if the month date is equal to 2 months before the date of as of, then that's what we're going to return. And the way that I'm going to set this up is this column right here is going to be for the metrics that are 2 months before whatever measure we selected. This column is going to be 1 month before the selected month. This column is going to be the month that we selected, and this column is going to be the percent difference between this column and this column. So figuring this out, so I guess what we could do as a way to kind of figure this out, so this is I'm gonna let this stay red for a minute, and I'm gonna call this 2 months back, and it's gonna stay red, and that's okay. Okay, so just for a minute. So let's do average days to ship. So I did, originally I had a fixed calculation. Now we're doing an aggregate calculation. But if we do show unused fields, nope, not that. That's not what I wanted to do. Show unused fields, show hidden fields. We have product ID, row ID. So potentially I could do fixed row ID. I need to unhide it. Again, not sure if this is going to work or not, but like I said, we just got to try things out, see if they work. And then what we can do is do this. And let's do average days. What does this look like? Yeah, it's going to look weird. Let's stop this. Average days to ship. Yeah. So it's the sum here, but if we change this to an average. I still don't get that. Okay, so never mind. So that won't work. My thought would be is if we could change this into a fixed calculation, if we could get the right numbers within the fixed, that would mean that we wouldn't have to aggregate at the end. But that's not going to work. So don't worry about that. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's try and figure this. Let's figure this out. Let's go back. Yeah, please. Okay, so this we need to figure out. So if the attribute of month date, I don't know if this is going to work because we're using the adder function, and the adder function is like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I didn't know if that, I didn't think that was going to work. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Because we need to do, because it's not that, it's, so the issue that, so again, the issue that we're running into is the measure table needs to be this. The measure selection table is this. Right? Because we're aggregating this, we have to aggregate these. We have to aggregate sales and profit because, yeah. So there's a great, I am not entirely versed in the attribute function. It's one of the most mysterious. But essentially, there's a really great video that Andy Kriebel did a couple weeks ago about the attribute function. I'd highly recommend go checking out his YouTube channel just in general, but also for that video. But essentially what it does is attributes can mean one and only one value, right? And so if one and only one value, and that's why this null comes back, that's why you get that null value, is because when I do this, I'm telling Tableau if the one and only one value of month date is equal to the month 2 months ago from that, then do this thing, right? And the thing that we can't do that, and the reason that doesn't work is because we haven't filtered any data out, right? So all months are being returned, and that's why that's coming back null. So again, Andy Kriebel, VizWiz BI, definitely go check him out. He's got a great video on what the attribute function does. Awesome. Okay. So we still need to figure this out. And I can't do like a min or a max. How about, no, can't do that either. Because, you know, what I could, I mean, this is essentially doing a look back. Instead of a date add, doing a date diff. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying there, Tim. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's do if date diff. This might work. If date diff month of month date and order date and the as of date is equal to 2. Can't mix that. Let's do min. Let's aggregate that. Let's see if that works. So I get a valid calculation. Again, not sure if that works. Yeah, that's not working either. That's interesting. That was a good try. But I like where you're headed there. Maybe it's not a min. Maybe it's. Yeah, that's not going to work either. How about sum? Nope. I still get nulls. This is interesting. This is a great challenge. All right, let's do this. Let's do product. Well, that's what we're doing here, right? Well, let's do this. Let's do subcategory, month date, exact date, discrete. Let's just start breaking this out, right? Okay. Look at that. So this is, sum. What is that? Average? No. Min? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so min. Yeah, so it's min. Right? And then, so if it's equal to 2, then what about doing window sum? So that does it for, okay, so I'm getting values back. So let's go back here. Okay, so let's do, but we don't want that. We only want for, but that, yeah, see, that's going to give it for everybody. There we go. But that gives the sum of that. And that's not what we want. We want different values. Fixed. Fixed. Month date. so we're getting there. We're getting there. I think if I do fixed on month, date, and subcategory. We're getting there. Excellent. Thank you, Tim. That was a great idea. Doing that. That was great. All right, so let's come back here. Now we're getting values. Hip hip hooray. Things are looking good. Okay. So this is a great challenge. Okay, so now so Erica, you're on here. So is it Valeria? Is it Valerie or is this J? I don't know how you say that, but this is a great challenge. Awesome. I love this. I love this troubleshooting. This is great. So now we can just duplicate this. Very good. We'll call this 1 month back. Still not. There's still a few things that are kind of fouling me up here, but we'll get there. I don't know how to reverse the order of a parameter list unless you hard code it, which just sounds difficult. And wonder if the juice is not worth the squeeze on that. But we'll get there. If that's what needs to happen, then that's what we'll do. All right, so we'll do this. We'll come back here. We'll do that. And then let's just make sure that our metrics are working, right? So let's show our parameter control. I'm also not sure how we're going to get headers. I don't know how we're going to get dynamic header names up here, but again, we'll figure that out. Because you can't dynamically change the name of a calculated field, and you can't dynamically, So we'll have to think about that. And she only said one sheet, so that's again where those are two things that I'm gonna have to. It's always those little things that are most challenging, right? All right, so let's do 1 month back, 2 month back. Let's duplicate this and let's do month of as is. Yeah, the headers are tricky. That's definitely, I agree. It is interesting. Okay, month of as is. Sure, I could change the calculation to just be equals to, but I've been duplicating I've just been duplicating. I know this works, so I'm just going to stick with it. Month of as is, go down here. There we go. We get that. So then it makes it really easy to do the percent of change, or the latest month growth, or whatever we call it. What are we calling it these days? Latest month growth. So we'll do, and that's just going to be sum of month back minus some month of as is. Wrap those in parentheses, divided by some month of as is. That's our percent of change calculation. Let's do number format. Let's come down here to percentage. What does she's got? She's got, what are we doing? Oh yeah, okay, so this is 0 decimal places. But we need, sure that things are working right. Look here. All right. Sales for July of 2020. I'm also not using the yeah, so we've got, so yeah, that looks about right. We went down, right? So I've got my arrows pointed right. This one looks weird though, right? We went down. We went up. Okay, so I did switch them. They don't look right. So we'll go here, default properties, number format. We'll cut that, put that right there. Cut that, put that right there. There we go. So from this to this, we went up. Yes, we went for this, we went up. This to that, we went down. This to that, we went down. We went down multiple $1,000s. So there we had more than 100% decrease. Yeah, all right, this is good. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so now the next thing we'll need to do is we'll just do a so here's a fun little trick to get the color here. We'll create a calculated field and we'll call this color, and we'll call this, and we'll just wrap this in sign. All right, and that returns just the sign, negative, positive, or 0. So -1 for negative numbers, 1 for positive numbers, and 0 for zeros. Let's see here. Did I do that right? Yep. Okay. And then what we can do here is we can change this to discrete. Throw that on color. Okay. Nope, not that. How do we get that? Change it to a square. Nope, that's not right. We need some kind of a... Okay. There we go. Now we can increase the size. But again, it's not gonna get us all the way there. Okay, interesting. And that pushes that over there. Don't know why. Let's do... So again, my camera is right in front of all my dialog boxes, so give me a minute while I try and look for this. Not there. There we go. I'm not loving it, but again, we don't let perfect get in the way of good enough. And then if I were to do, if I were to flatten this out, then we get that, right? We'd get that full square. But something tells me that's not how she did it. So we're going to have to figure that out as well. But we'll get there. We'll get there later. Okay, so... Let me see. Did she give us the... Well, it doesn't matter. Okay. We'll change the colors later. Okay. So now let's just make sure that this is working. If I do profit, everything changes. If I do average, everything changes. However, so I did have it right. I did have my colors right here. That's what I thought. because green, these should all be up. That's 0. There's ones. There's nulls. Let's go back to sales. Yeah. Well, why is... Okay, well, I get... Okay, so let's just change this now. One is positive, blues are that, nulls are blue. I think is what they were. No, blues are orange. Okay, or nulls are orange. Okay, there we go. Yep. And then we got 1, 0. What do we do about the 0? So let's look at what does she do for the zeros, where there is one. Which one is 0? Fasteners. Yeah, blue. Okay. Okay, 0 is blue. Click OK. There we go. And up 0%. Very good. Okay. And actually what we could do if we really wanted to be cool, we could go to number format and we could do another semicolon there and then just 0%. And then watch what happens to this 0%, right? It just goes away. So that's cool. Okay. Okay. So what are we up to now? Latest. Oh, but we need to do the latest. All these latest months. Number format. No cat. Thank you, Sabrina, but you can't come up here right now and be on TV or be on YouTube right now. Sorry, my cat was trying to get in the way. Okay, so number format for 1 month back on tables is 0. Edit. Nope, not edit. 2 months back, default number format. Number 2. Month of as is. Number format. Number. No decimal places. Percent latest growth. Number format. And we did that. Okay. So yeah, that looks good. We can show header, include tooltip, uncheck those. Okay. All right, let's go back to sales because that was our default. What else do we have? Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Listen out. You can kind of see with this, we've got everything on the left side. So let's go alignment on the left. All right. And instead of change this to a circle. No, change it to a square. How about to the left? There we go. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to get these all lined up, right? And they're all lined up on the left. See, but that's interesting because there's no... So maybe they are all squares. Maybe everything's a square. With everything, with all the sides just beefed up. There you go. That's how that's working. Okay. Okay, but now we don't need color. White. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so and we need grand totals, so let's do that. And of course we get 0. Of course we get nulls. Why? Why do we get zeros? Because why is that?
Our redneck confrontation rate is hilarious.
Okay, let's see. Kids are home from school today, so dealing with that too. Okay, so we've got. Why are we not getting a grand total amount? Grand totals, how do those work? Do we need to totals using automatic sum? Okay, I'm getting them in a tooltip, but why don't they show up as text? That's strange. Format grand totals, fields, totals. No, I thought maybe if I increase the size. What's strange is they're showing up in the tooltip. How can they be showing up in a tooltip but not on the mark? That doesn't make any sense to me. Clear manual sizing. Just get back to. Well, that looks bad. Any idea? Anybody have any ideas on how to get why the totals are showing up in the tooltip but not on the mark? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard. I don't know. Can you open this? Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, they're not, because you can't open a specific mark. You can't open a specific cell, a specific cell tooltip. You can only do it for the entire column. So I mean, it's showing, right? It's, and if I go back to analysis and subtotals, I don't think I want to do that. No, I didn't want to do that. So go back. That is strange, man. That's really weird. Okay, well, I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I am gonna call myself stumped on this. How about that? See? But we still were able to learn a few things, right? We learned about how in the world did, but I don't want to give up, but as soon as I get, do you think it has to do? No, because she's got a band. So let's do some formatting and see if it shows up. I don't think it will, but who knows? It might. Grand total pain. Nope, I didn't get that. Pain. There we go. Oh, okay. No, that doesn't make sense. Strange. What happens if I remove these? Okay. And let's change all these marks back to automatic. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so there it is. So it has to do with how she got the marks to go all the way across. So it has to do with that. So let's think about this. Ooh, could it be? So we knew that she was going to do. What about min 1? Oh, not even that. What if we do and change this from a Gantt, or change this from a bar chart to a Gantt chart with, and then as we do here, let's do sum of 1 on the marks. Is the total appearing somewhere other than the 0 on the axis? Yeah, so it's, so no, it's showing up here. So now I can get rid of that. I think I'm getting on the right track here. So we have our marks, we have our bar, we have our marks, we can see the totals, but what we need to figure out now is and it's showing up on the 0. So my thought here was to change all these to Gantt bars and put Gantt on that. And then we can come in here, we can edit our axis. But that just goes, so there's that. So then we'd put our limit on a fixed axis at 1. And there. And that's how we're able to, and that's how she's able to do that. So now if I go to my axis here, I change this to a Gantt bar, I add sum of 1. I change that to size. Change that here. We're going to do this uniform, or yeah, fixed, 0 and 1. Right? But now I don't have. But what now if I change? No, not that. Can't do that. Okay. Yep. So that's working like that. These are still white, but how do I change the color of the grand total? Because it's not shading, because it's a mark. All right, Nikhil says if we add 2 months, if we add each of them back, if we add oh, okay. So you're saying if I take 2 months back and add it to this dual axis, do we synchronize it? Okay. And then here, oh, here, remove measure names. Right. But the thing about that, Camille or Nikhil, is that gets us there, but we can't dynamically change the name of. I'm not sure where. I'm not sure what we're gaining by doing this. Because we can't dynamically change the name of the calculated header, right? I can't. This is the name of this header is the name of the calculated field, and she's got May 19th. That changes, right? So when I change a different month, these headers change, and I can't dynamically change the name of. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's fine. All right, never mind. And it's only one sheet. All right, Valerie says, can you try adding transparencies on the cells rather? Oh, look, yes, of course. See, the creator of the challenge came in and helped me out. That's great. Okay, so the issue here that I had, right, is format, paint, grand total paint header, none. Okay. So if I do no transparency, make this one white, but wait. Okay, yeah. Well, let's get rid of this because I don't know if that's helping necessarily. All right, so we've got that. I just need to. Yeah, that's when I had them as bars. Yep. So let's see. Let's just make this what I've got here, which is. Okay, there's. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so Valerie, so let me. How on earth did you do these? Did you do dynamic headers as or with only one sheet and not using that? You've stumped me on that for sure. Dual axis with the dates. The date. Exact date. show, and then only show. Sorry, dual axis for each of your green pills. Yes. So you're saying, so just duplicate this, right? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sign in. We're gonna, because we don't have to sit here and watch me fail. We'll just dig in here. Let's make a copy. Let's just see how she did this. So I'm officially calling myself stumped on these last two pieces. So nicely done, Valerie. Really excellent challenge. But let's go see how we did this. And for all of you who are watching, don't be afraid to. Okay, so average 1, month of month minus 2. Yeah. And then average of did you just do that? Okay, so we've got, and everything is everything here is a dual axis, so we've got lots of marks. So we've got bars for the averages and Gantt bars for the months. Okay. So I wonder if, so, okay, I see what you're saying. So we just need to, I need to create, so this is like month minus 2. And we do a date add of month of -2 from as if. Click OK, that does that. Change this to continuous. Drop that on this. Whoa, that's really cool. You kind of just blew my mind there. And then you can format this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Wow, Valerie, that's really cool. I had no idea. It would have taken me too long to get there. So nicely done. That's really cool. We don't need measure names on there. That's really cool. All right, let's see what else we doing here. So on the bar chart, right? So month minus 2 on the average 1. Yep. Nikhil says by using the parameter in the calculated field, we can create the latest month, last month, and 2-digit. Then do it. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we did. That's essentially we didn't use the parameter. Yeah, that's essentially what we got around to. Right? Is we didn't. I had to cheat, which you guys figured out. So you and Nikhil and Valerie kind of figured this out way better than me. She's using a calculated field for our latest month. I use the parameter of the selected month, gets you the same result. Yeah, and then you put that as your dual axis. But blowing my mind right now is being able to combine being able to do a dual axis where your sheets or where your data types are different, right? Because we've got an integer and a date doing a dual axis, right? And we're not synchronizing, but we're just using it as a dual axis. That just kind of blows my mind. So nicely done. Okay, so next, yeah. So now we have, so the last thing we need to figure out, format the worksheet. Do we get that? Tableau. I'm gonna have to, since Tableau still does not have all of the formatting features. Okay, pane. So you're, oh yeah, that's the color. Background fill, Tableau book, borders. Since Tableau Online and Tableau Public still don't have the full-blown, I still need to figure out how you got this to be black. How you got the only, because if I look at this, right, we don't have anything on color anywhere. So let me see how you did this. So color, you selected white with 0 opacity on the bar. On the Gantt chart, you did 0, you did white and 0. Border automatic. And then, okay, so let's try that. So let's do, yeah, this is a good one. Lots of really fun little formatting fun. Okay, so let's just do this one. So we got this and that. And we do on the month 2, color 0, or black, or white, excuse me, white, and all that, and there it is. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well done. 2 high fives. Virtual high fives for Valerie's challenge. This was great. Really, really great. Awesome. Really, really nice. Yeah, this was good. This was a great learning challenge. And this is kind of, for those of you who kind of worked along with me or watched me stumble, what did we get out of this? Well, we learned never to give up. We learned to ask for help. We learned to be humble. And even a visionary doesn't know everything, right? So, and that's okay. A visionary does not have to know everything. And just like a non-visionary doesn't have to know everything. Everybody has their own strengths. It's good stuff. So thank you, Valerie, for challenging me and teaching me things. Thank you, Erica, for inviting Valerie and her challenge. This was awesome. Yeah, but I think we'll wrap this one. We'll wrap this one up. And this was good fun. So appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Go forth and viz.